I was about 6 years old when I kind of noticed I had problems with bladder leakage and stress incontinence. I didn't know what it was, but as I got older and I heard other people talking about it, I kind of realized what it was. That's when I noticed I had issues with my pelvic floor.
I knew the importance of the pelvic floor and how important it was in many ways for sexual intercourse, for having control of the bladder, and also particularly after you've had a baby, when you've had so much stress on the pelvic floor, how difficult it is to actually retain the stability of the pelvic floor and keep it functioning correctly.
I first became aware of my pelvic floor after I gave birth to my first daughter, Lydia. We were given an information sheet literally after giving birth where you were asked to do pelvic floor exercises for a short space of time. I think it was maybe 4 or 5 weeks afterwards.
Well, I first became aware of my pelvic floor when a friend mentioned to me that it can become loose and obviously you'll get incontinent and it can damage your sex life if you don't look after yourself properly.
Nowadays, girls are so much more sexually active at an earlier age that I think it's extremely important that they know, because these things will now come on a lot earlier than, say, for women of my age.
I first came aware of my pelvic floor when I was about 16 and I was horse riding. I realised then from then on I needed to do something about it.
I don't think that incontinence or anything like that is just an older women's problem. I think that younger women can have these problems as well, and the fact that it's such a taboo topic means that people aren't really aware of it.
I tried to do the manual pelvic floor exercises. I was unaware that I was doing it correctly. I found them very hard to do, and there was no way of determining whether I was doing them right.
Early recognition, and we can help stop this embarrassing problem of the leakage and the wet panties, you know, in later life, which nobody wants to go through.
As I've got older, I became aware of the pelvic floor. As you do with lots of things in your body, you start looking things up and you realise that it's something you need to look after.
If you go see the doctor, they just shrug you off and say, well, you know, there's pads. Or if it gets really bad, you can get the transvaginal tape surgery. Everybody's aware of it, everybody makes jokes, but everybody still suffers with it.
I know of people who have incontinence problems who are my age, and it's simply because they had no idea that they could do anything about tightening their pelvic floor.